If you want to paint landscapes that feel like they have depth without over detailing, today we're going to be painting this mountain meadow, and I'm going to show you my 3-layer system. First, cooler colors and the back, warmer ones and the foreground, and the dark tree line that actually puts the whole painting together and makes it click. So what are we waiting for? Let's grab our brushes and let's start painting. Let's just start with a very loose sky. This is cobalt blue. I mean, you can wet ahead of time or you can drop the blue like I'm doing, and then right away go with a brush that has water and then just spread it out. This is a very loose sky. Let's just bring some to this other top of the mountain. We want to keep this loose and like a sunny day. The templates and plus my screen reference are on Patreon if you want to paint along, and I will link it below. Water, I'm going to bring that over here. I want this to be all white, so very little color. Let's just pretend this is a big white sky, and then with a more diluted part of the cobalt blue, I go over there, bring it, and pretty much this is all I'm gonna do for the sky. Maybe bring a little bit more over here. One thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna let this dry. Right now that the sky is dry, we're gonna put a light glaze, like the sun is hitting into the face of this mountain. For this, I just got some of the yellow ochre, and I added just a hint of red that I was having in my palette. You could put permanent rose. The whole idea here is to keep this really light. This is gonna dry even lighter, and the whole idea here is kind of like pretend like the like this has been sun-kissed, like the sun is heating. Right now it's looking a little bit plain, and then when the mountains will appear as soon as we put the shadows, that is the very satisfying part. I'm making a purplish gray by adding neutral tint for Daniel Smith, a little bit of my French ultramarine, and a hint of permanent rose. And we're going to put the cool mountain that is farther away, meaning this one here. Everything that is farther usually tends to look a little bit more on the blue side. So I'm just going to put a little of that. This is just, we're building our shadows. Go with one that only has water, and then start bringing this down. And this is what first we come with all these hard edges. And this gives the roughness of a mountain, you know, those crevices and hard edges and what are shapes, the sharpest one. And now we come in here with the same color, more diluted, and also with a hint more gray, cooling it down. To the color, I added a little bit of neutral tint, gives me this kind of like, I'm going to pretend like these are trees. And I do this by going with a rickety edge. So we're pretending to build here as if forest trees are growing on the bottom of the mountain. It looks like nothing, but our eyes will read it as trees by putting those rigid edges. And now I'm gonna separate this plane from this one by bringing all the green, and a few places like they are maybe a little bit darker. What is this? Well, less thick trees. And then I'm just following the slope of this, of how this mountain will be. Let's see, I got this dark color, maybe a little bit darker here. That water kind of, because I want the separation to be a little bit more pronounced. And maybe I can bring some of that color here. Just tap with water, so it blends a little bit. By adding a touch of burnt sienna to my grays, now I warm it up a little bit. Has sharp edges, okay? I had to work in little section. Shape is starting to be 3D. We're bringing this other one right here. But right away, you see how these mountains are appearing. Again, best way is paint the shadows. I want to have a straight line like the mountain line, and let's just build it all up like this is a tree. So all you have to do is like make sure that the top edges are uneven. A little bit of that over there too. And these little lines that are building are like I said, trees, but impressions of trees, but they also build in the shape of our mountain. And put a few over here, as if these are again some trees. If I just go up and down like that, from higher to lower and up and down, this is gonna read as trees, especially as we put all our meadows and close-up details. I know that right now it looks messy and not like much, but everything is gonna come together in just 1 second. We want greens, but we want greens that are still a little bit on the gray side. So this is my gold green with pretty light hint of olive green, and then just to cool it, to turn it down, I added the slightly touch of neutral tint. And now with the same colors that I was using there, but more diluted, I'm bringing my medium tones, if you will, to use it as bridges between, so everything is not so light and dark. And this is what is going to put all our mountain to look more together. Before I come with my darker colors, which is going to be around here, let me put like, I feel like this is kind of too empty, so let me put like if it is another mountain, but it will be even farther than this. So for that, I just come in with very pale grays, and let's just pretend there is one kind of showing around here, something like that. Let's just bring it next to that and next to our edge here. Okay. Now I come over here, bring it down, bring it out. Nice. I want a little bit of white over here, but I need to stop bringing, otherwise it's not gonna know when the mountain finish. So let's just come from there and maybe, yeah, I think I'll feel better that is gonna fill it up. This is soft, this is soft. Let me soften it up. All right, and now to these greens, I added a little bit more blue, and we're gonna start, I wanna take away some of this white here so we can put our darker trees. And finally, I'm gonna separate another plane with a little bit of the darker color. And once again, like I said before, it's gonna be a few trees here, but at least this part will show, and I wanted to, as if it is a meadow coming this way and this one going that way. Gold green. I already have some of them over there, but I'm gonna bring it all the way. So when I come with darker colors, those will be the holes, if you will, they will show instead of white. And I'm gonna do basically the same thing here. And now with my big brush, if you don't wanna if you wanna stop yourself for putting a lot of details, use a bigger brush, and that will allow you to do what you need. A bunch of olive green to it. With my big brush, I have now yellow ochre diluted with a little bit of the gold green, also very diluted. This is just me trying to kill the white. Just gonna bring the color around. So the yellow ochre, maybe there, maybe here. Again, like I said, we will continue to build this up later. But this part I wanna have is the closer to us. I will wanna have other colors. Say for example, I wanna come with a red. If I have too many greens or whatever, it will not be as bright. So I choose to keep this part here lighter, just by going with water so I don't have a hard edge. Just by bringing the yellow ochre, we already changed temperature, and it's already starting to look more like a spring, like it should, the spring meadows and whatnot, behind something that is already dark. Again, I'm pretending to paint trees. I am not gonna paint all the trees. How am I gonna accomplish that? Just by getting some of the shape, like if it is a triangle, going from higher to wider, and then I'm just gonna drop that. Let's get another one around here, just dots, and then right with the line is, yes, I want to cover it up, but for another ones I don't mind allowing some of the color to show. And then let's just make one like if it is behind. By that I mean if I make it shorter, it pretends as if it is behind it. Okay, so I think it should be a big tree here. Maybe let's just put some of these, like if it is part of the mountain, with some of these. Like if it's even coming outside of the mountain. All right, so I go with that. I tap with water, tap, so that my water does bleeds this. However, I want to do though is while this is wet, I'm gonna come up with the same color that I was having over there, and I'm gonna bring this because I want those two to bleed, so I don't have to put a whole lot of detail into it, but it will read like it's a bush. Now I am not gonna make it all straight, because if I go zigzagging, I can pretend like some of these light colors are grasses. Now this is a little too wet, so let me go, there it goes, so that it shows the contrast between light and dark, which is what I'm aiming for. A little bit more of the olive green. I like that better. Okay, impressions of trees. Okay. Just the different temperatures, the different darks and lights, that's all we want. Then whatever the water wants to go, and that's what is going to give us the impressions of this like a tree. And then to this color, I'm just going to bring, to the darker color, I just brought a little bit more of the olive green, and let's just separate some of these here as well. Like if it is another line of trees coming from here. Pretending, I guess, is the best word for it, because what we want is impressions. That makes our painting look so much fresher and natural. Drop a little bit of that, come with a little bit of water. Now, let's just bring some of that over here too. So now that we have this side done, let's just work on this other one. Same colors that we were using before. I'm gonna come here and gonna pretend to do a little bit kind of like negative painting, meaning I'm coming with some of them olive greens, but instead of making it straight, I'm trying to go like this, like if I am, again, rickety, like if it is some bushes or something. Okay, all right, so we got that over there. Now I'm going to do the same thing, a little bit of the same thing here. It's going to make sense in a moment. All right, I don't want to make this too much like trees, but maybe more like if they are bushes. I'm going to come a little rickety, but I'm going to give me like a separation line between this and what is going to be all these other metals. All right, now I can go ahead and bring my darker of all, the darkest color of all, the one that I was using for that. What I want to do is, while all of this is wet, at the bottom it gets kind of like diluted. That's what I want. I have another one, say here. Okay. Gonna have an edge here. Nice, and then this one I'm gonna make it hard, like it's farther. One thing that I'm gonna do now is drop a little bit of water here or there, and this water is gonna give me texture, like if they are the bushes that I was trying to do. I can never build it up as well as the water will for me. This is looking pretty good. Now we already have the dark line that separates the, and pushes, you see by putting this darker, it push everything farther away. So now it's time to concentrate a little bit on our metals. This is yellow ochre, and I'm gonna, again, zigzagging. I'm proud of myself. I'm trying to go with very little detail, but still making a realistic painting. Now I'm coming with some gold green while it's wet, and we allow these to mingle together. We start building the impressions or shadows. And let's just get some of that color and water. Nice. These little dry brushes like this is enough. Some of the yellow ochre a little bit by itself, so that it's just a little bit warmer. This is wet. I'm coming here with olive green, and now I'm coming with even thicker yellow ochre. Put a little bit of water here. What's olive green? There you go. That's what I want. A little bit of the bleeding happening. This is what I save my details for. These are some two puppies. And I'm coming here with orange that I make with my pearl red and my Hansa yellow light. If I do this, let me go like this, try to build them. I mean, obviously I'm not gonna paint them like if this was a flower painting. And then if we have two that we recognize, then I recognize the rest as other wildflowers. That's how it works. Let me bring more red. And again, I just bring it down. And if I put it there, then let's put a few here too. Neutral tint, or you can use black if you prefer. The same yellow ochre. Oops, too much water. Put some over there, and then a little here too. I don't know, this suggestion of looping style wildflowers, because they got purple. So let me go by suggestion. I mean, I come with a violet. Some over here, edges, and then some edges. Then just go with water, and then we're just gonna tap. I want some of the kind of lighter color to show. Oh, this is gorgeous, how it goes against the red. And again, on the other side, I go with a little bit less. And then I'm just gonna tap and let the water do whatever it has to do. And I know this looks a little weird right now. Well, if it looks weird, it's perfect, because that's what it's supposed to look like right now. However, and whenever everything is gonna come together in just a second. What I'm doing here is, like, if I have the impressions of a few of those wildflower paints, then maybe we can put impressions of more puppies around here. I have here gold green and yellow ochre, and I'm coming and lifting. And this other one, I have gold green alone, and I'm doing the same thing. I am gonna paint around my purple lupines. Basically what I'm doing right now is covering some of this white area that I have around. But instead of doing it all together, instead of doing it like covering a whole area, I prefer to do it like this, like if I'm building grasses. All right, so I'm coming here with sap green, and in this part here, I'm putting to the sap green, I'm bringing some olive green, and I pretend that I'm building grasses. So now this corner, I want it dark. I'm coming with a dark color, and then I just go with water. I come with my darkest colors, some of the ones that I have leftovers on my palette from there, and only here or there, I come with some of these darker colors. And then in between here, I just come with some. Now, I did like if this was the heads of some puppies. So yes, underneath this, it will have greenery. Now gold green, and then I tap just with water. I want to be more like a dry brush, olive greens. We're gonna allow a little bit of whites to show. Maybe there are more of those lupine style wildflowers. And then tap, tap. I mean, I'm very proud of myself. I accomplished not putting all the detail that I was seeing in my reference photo. So by holding, sometimes using some restraint and not putting everything that we see, we end up with pictures that look more fresh. And so let me put one tiny one here. Okay, maybe a little one over here. I love my mountains. I'm not gonna touch nothing from there. Maybe a little bit of kind of dry brush or whatnot here. And maybe I can put some here as well. Kind of stop that there too abruptly for my taste. All right. And then you have my system, cool colors on the back, warm in the front, and the dark tree line that pushes the depth farther away and puts the whole painting together. If you would like me to paint more spring pictures like this, put Meadows in the comment and tap in the video here if you want to continue to paint with me. As always, I thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video.